Welcome back to the WODprep podcast. I'm your host, CJ DePalma, with the better host, John Young, and the bestest host, Claire Bays. What's up, guys?
What's
It
good?
is Monday, January 5th. The new year is here, 2026, with all of the turbulence we're bringing from 2025 into the year. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good one, though. I'm excited for it.
What, this year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been a great year for me.
Yeah, I'm starting off great.
Yeah, why are you starting off great? How's your pec?
That's what I was joking about. We're doing great. I hopped up on the rings today. I did a couple of ring muscle ups, and I mean it didn't feel great, but I can do it, so it's not bad.
That's good.
CrossFit is already coming for you. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. Am I?
I think it's just more of you consume probably lots of sugar and refined stuff in general.
Well, I mean, that guy might turn me against it. He might turn me healthy.
Perfect. We'll just keep letting him go. Should we just start there?
If you want.
Yeah. I mean, all
yeah,
right.
do it.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just like start strong. Okay. So,
by the way, the theme of the show, as you saw on the title, is the good, the bad, and the baffling. And so, coming into 2026, John, did you do any homework for this since I said that?
John never does homework. He just
but I feel like sometimes he really does, though.
Yeah, if he comes up with the idea.
What's I supposed to do?
None. I'm just curious if you did any.
No.
What I'm asking is what would that
comes
consist
up with
of?
the idea? If he comes up with the idea, it means he's digging in.
Okay. Simply thinking about what you would categorize as each one. That's all.
Oh, I am. Then we're all right.
All right, great.
Cool. Daniel Brandon.
I bet it'll be fine. CJ, that's an astute observation. I say, Claire, if I ever say I need to put a hard look on it, then I have done more research into that topic than any person in the world. Like
on this world.
And there is nobody that knows more about whatever topic it is. If I say, let me put a hard look on it, and then I'll get back to you. Or like when I do my mountain or the rankings, the predictions, whatever, I always say I got to put get a hard look on it, and then that's my code for we're about to go into the dungeon and be the best.
Okay, so wait, is there anything that you do that with that is not CrossFit related? Like, would you? Because I mean, that's a pretty large claim that you're making. That once you put a hard look on something, that now you're just the most knowledgeable. Do you do that in other areas of your life, or just?
I got some stuff, but I think it's more of me being on the spectrum than anything. Just because if I read it, it does, or if I see it, it won't leave me, and it just kind of like catalogs in my brain, capitals and geography and stuff like that. I'm pretty crazy at Jeopardy. Because there's just a lot of useless stuff that I have. But I mean, like Bible knowledge.
Wait, are you that way with Bible knowledge?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Are you like what's the Denzel movie?
I got you. Eli, Book of Eli.
Yeah, Book of Eli.
I don't think I can recite it word for word from memory, but
that is just one.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I mean, I get pretty deep on it. Yeah, and then just silly things like silly topics.
Your movie knowledge is pretty solid.
Okay, wait, CJ, would you say that you remotely compare to that? Like, do you believe that whenever you learn something that you retain it at that level or anywhere near it?
I'm actually probably a little different. I was thinking about this the other day, and I have I'm certainly not on any, at least in my opinion, not on the spectrum by any means. I usually have a pretty surface level knowledge on a very large array of stuff, like very, very large array of things. And with I feel like my strengths in knowledge, which is like problem solving, I can have a very surface level knowledge on something and work my way pretty deep into the topic. And so I usually end up not digging further as I think I should. It's a fault in my own in general. Like, I feel comfortable and confident and competent in this thing. And so now I know enough. And then I kind of generally move on, and I usually don't dig too far deep. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's for sure. It's like it's a very positive thing on like trying to learn a lot, like Jeopardy style knowledge,
broad range. Yeah.
right. But as far as being an expert in a lot of different areas, no, I probably rely too much on that problem solving, like quick thinking, than digging in and really like getting to the meat and potatoes on some topics.
Yeah, I'll also say it hurts me in a way, because if I don't know something about a topic, I'm completely retarded about that topic. like I don't know anything. Like it's so bad. It's like a foreign language of what you've just asked me. I don't know.
And I feel like I feel like it's
I wanted you to answer that question actually. And then I will say for me, like if I could retain information anywhere near that, I can't even imagine. In fact, that should be my resolution of the year, is to work on my retention. I just don't relate. Anyway,
I think that's a little genetic how good you are at that.
But I mean, I don't know. My dad retains things relatively thoroughly, and I am a very curious person. So I study things deeply. And then I kind of am like CJ, I remember like the broad theme, whatever, but I'm just saying if retention was good, ooh, that would be nice. But here we are. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know all three of Job's friends. I know two of Eliphaz and Bill Dad, and then there's a one with a Z. And I don't know the Z, but I know it starts with a Z. Job, kind of like the first friend, you go real in depth on him, and then like the second friend, you go less in depth on him, and then the third friend, he's just kind of there after his wife.
This screen name is this is fucking hilarious.
Hunting cardio bunnies. Who does anybody know who that is?
I don't know.
Oh wow! I don't know if I should reveal who it is then.
Oh, so you do know who it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Why wouldn't you reveal it?
Yeah.
Do they not want to be known?
I kind of think CJ should be able to figure it out.
They're in the picture, I would assume. I just can't tell. There's a lot of weight on the bar. It looks like they're about to go for a back squat.
There was one in here.
He said John's dad.
Is it John's dad? No.
Is it? Doubt it.
No.
I think it was Kenneth had a good question, because I nerd out on these things big time.
Are you just moving right along? You're not interested in revealing the
Nah, I mean, if y'all can't figure it out, I mean, then that's on you guys. Y'all are.
Kenneth's question was
this one. It was CrossFit's question.
Oh, CrossFit.
That's Bradley Wiggins, man. I mean, I feel like it's not even that far back.
Easy peasy.
Dude, there was this dude who had a homemade bike. I don't know his name because he was only good at this one thing. But like there's a big thing in cycling. That's the hour-long record. How far can you go in 1 hour? Like it's a big. It's like a mile. I don't know if it's like the mile, but like it's It's like the fastest mile. How big that is in track.
Got it.
That's how big this thing is. It's not like a competition, but it's just the hour-long record.
Oh, that's John's dad.
That is scary.
Vicky just texted me too.
I said I didn't think it was him. Damn. Okay.
And there was this guy who made a homemade bike that looked so funky. I want to say it was like in the year 1991, 1990, maybe. And like his handlebars were right here, and it wasn't like anything anybody had ever seen. It was just his homemade bike, and he destroyed people on it, and then they had to outlaw it because it looked like a tricycle. But he was faster than everybody else on it.
Interesting. Totally different design. That's neat.
Yeah, but Bradley Wiggins ended up beating that record. That's why I thought of that, because that's what he was known for.
Yeah, he's very proud of the fact that he got you on that random topic.
Sorry.
All right. So now that we all understand,
I don't care about Chris Froome. I don't like Chris Froome.
Education. So we're starting off with CBG, and mainly because Claire sent it to me. I've gone back and forth personally. We'll just watch it.
Yep.
Oh, it's muted.
Seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. That line is so old, it was literally said on a VHS tape. And some of you are still treating it like scripture. The carb-fearing era is dead. If that triggers you, listen up. These rules are dead in 2026. Rule 1, little starch. Your engine needs carbs, not carb fear. If you train hard, Rice, oats, and fruit are non-negotiable, not cheats. Rule 2, keep sodium low.
Where does it say that, by the way?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know it doesn't say it in Fitness in 100 Words, but where does it? Claire would know better than anyone that I know. Where do we talk? I mean, I feel like I've heard Greg talk about like sodium is never being an issue. Consume it.
Yep.
Especially if you're sweating, and especially if it's hot. I think he's talked about like not being a fan of LMNT and like actual electrolyte supplements. But anyways, all right.
Sweat like crazy, and then wonder why your heart rate is on Mars. Low sodium trashes performance. Smart electrolytes keep you moving. Rule 3, no sugar, tiny pre-WOD carbs. Showing up to long WODs on only black coffee is fake discipline. 20 to 40 grams of fast carbs pre-WOD is what actually lets you push instead of die at minute 8. Rule 4, earn your carbs. You don't earn fuel, you match carbs to training. Lifting, metcons, intervals all hit harder when carbs are planned, not punished. Rule 5, stay as light as possible. Chasing the lowest body weight is how you end up weak, flat, and gassed. Strong, fueled, and a bit heavier usually outlifts, outpaces, and outlasts the shredded but dying crowd. If you're still living by VHS era rules in 2026, comment WOD nutrition and get the no tracking framework CBG clients use to get leaner and fitter while eating like athletes, not dieters. Eat.
All right. So my biggest, I mean, if he's referencing Hattie and Danielle and James and everyone, I think he has a very strong case that like these things are needed to fuel high level athletes, right? I think we heard Dallin say that he's at 700 carbohydrates or something like that. But Fitness in 100 Words was created well before the sport of CrossFit even existed. And metabolic health is not related, in my opinion, to high intensity training. And so I just think this is very contradictory to, I don't know, the 99% of everyone. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's yeah. I think my biggest challenge with CBG is when he compares sugars, as far as the body doesn't know the difference inside, and that a processed sugar is no different than a vegetable from a carbohydrate perspective or a fruit. And I don't know, I just really struggle with that one of just like sourcing, right? It's not like sourcing doesn't matter. And it's just like, stuff, man. It's like, we're just going to put fake shit in us and just assume the body's going to be totally cool with it just forever. It's a tough one for me to choose.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, Dave did a decent little bit, like kind of combating. Did you say what doesn't work?
What you said.
Oh, it's just
fake fast carbs.
Yeah.
Spicy nacho Doritos aren't the same as an apple.
Exactly. But
right.
but his argument is that it is, which is so crazy to me.
I don't think they are. I endorse what he's saying, or I do what he's saying, and I don't think they are.
I love it. I think, CJ, you made the argument. You did it. This is great. I didn't even have to. I mean, obviously, I agree. But I mean, it's also like in the level 1, you know, like he's referencing something that, yet again, there's always nuance, right? And so like,
right, but
we're supposed to eat sufficiently to fuel our lives. And that looks different for a lot of us. And I think that it always is just like information like this. If you're speaking to these high level athletes versus the vast majority of CrossFitters who, what are you?
There you go, Sarah.
Who typically like have some excess fat mass that they would like to reduce, right? And so the narrative that like carbs are their besties and the more the merrier and so on is just tough if you don't have that nuance to it. So I understand it's a short form piece of content and there's only so much you can fit in it and whatever, but definitely then also like, yes, when we've seen all of the promotion that we have seen of all of the different candies and things that have a lot of frankenfood ingredients in them, then it's just like, okay, well, that is very different than naturally occurring starches and sugars. It's just not the same thing.
What do you
like single ingredient foods?
Right. So
I've also heard that like no athletes that are associated with him are actually doing what he's saying. He pays them so they endorse him. I've heard that from multiple athletes. Discretion with that. But
can you allude to anything that you do hear that they do then? If you're saying that you hear that they don't actually adhere to it,
like when he
what
comments,
are they not doing?
Like he'll comment on a video, a random video, right? And like that said athlete doesn't abide by those things. I don't like. We can look at comments and get specific if you want to, but like they don't go what he is saying to do. You know what I mean? Or he doesn't do nutrition for them, even though he's associated with them. Does that make sense? They just eat what they want. They eat how they think it's going to fuel them the best. I don't say eat what they want, but like how they think it'll fuel them the best, and it's not like one way.
Right. I'm fairly confident that he does. They
like this,
do a lot,
like this.
Sorry. Pull that up again.
Like this is a great example. Here's what Danielle did. She didn't do anything. She's just associated with you. Now, Danielle, I don't want to DM in my DM saying you did do that, okay? But this is what I've heard from
why not? If that's the truth,
multiple athletes. That's what I've heard. I've not her, but she was just the example that we're using.
Yeah. Well, I guess can you see the comments on this? Because Ariel Lowen is in there talking about. I guess she made a post about MyFitnessPal and they didn't like it. They went back and forth in it, which was just kind of interesting. I think it was on. I don't
even disagree with half he's saying. I've just heard that he's not a great person and that the athlete, like, there's.
Was it on Taylor's? It might be on Taylor's.
Yeah, maybe so.
Rob the jewelry store and tell.
Yeah, you're probably right. There we go. I think it's on
Hiller's. Go up.
Go up. Yeah.
And then View replies, and she goes guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I guess she said, yeah. And I posted the MyFitnessPal thing and they didn't like it. And then CBG responded and was like, yeah, we sure didn't. So it's just kind of a spicy back and forth. But anyway, I don't know. There's always nuance, right? And you can only fit so much into a clip, but it definitely is just, I think that like we see a lot of like, I guess my curiosity, like, do we know what fuel sources he does recommend?
I don't even care. I've just heard he's not a good guy.
Yeah. So you're out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sure. My biggest holdup with him is the comparison that like all carbohydrates, once they enter the body doesn't know the difference. And maybe in the sense in that immediate moment of fuel, there's general accuracy in that. I don't know the like bioenergetics.
But since when is any food item ever only comprised of one macronutrient? There's so much more nuance to any food item.
Yeah, and so and I'm just trying to keep it like really narrow with like where I struggle the most with him, like in his in like what he's preaching, and it's that like the carb doesn't matter. It's just the carb.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you got me off my caught me off.
Do we want to pull it back up or are we good?
I actually have a very funny story for you guys after the show. Claire, remind me.
Got it.
All right. So
I actually think I might have already said it.
I think people should, if we're just going to go into nutrition, right? Sourcing is important, probably the most important thing in general, right? Low ingredients, less artificials, less sweeteners, less fake shit. Even if you're eating a high carb, but it's all fruit, it's so hard to fucking overeat carbohydrates and sugar and fruit, right? Like it's so hard. And so if we're just actually going to give advice on the show and not just talk shit, eat real food.
Yeah. Yes. And we can take this back to the, I'm sorry, finish your thought.
Yeah. It's right. And so this is his claim. Shauna's and Shauna's statement here. Aren't all carbs broken down to the same base components before absorption occurs? And that's his claim. Doesn't matter what it is that when the body breaks it down and absorbs it, it is the exact same at that point. I'm like, well, I don't know like the metabolic processes of exactly how breaking down carbohydrate works from if it's an artificial carbohydrate, if it's fake, if it's sucralose, if it's a sweetener, if whatever it is, versus a fruit or a vegetable. But I can't imagine that the body is absorbing it the exact same way from a biological standpoint.
No, and there's so much more to it than just being a carbohydrate. Like there's so much more to it, right? You have a banana, which is a source of carbohydrates and sugar, whatever. But there's also all these other nutrients, micronutrients, et cetera, that are available there. And then you go take a piece of candy and like, okay, what is that? So maybe, yes, there is a carb there, but there's so much more going on in that piece of for that frankenfood. But also, if we take this back to the narrative that is being shared by, we've talked about it many times before, but oh gosh, she works on seminar staff and she's written a lot of the nutritionist, Jocelyn Riley. She's largely a mouthpiece for
we had her on the show.
I know. Listen, I told you today I'm having a little bit of a hard time, so you're just gonna have to deal with me. All right.
Don't you? Hey, CJ. Hey, take it easy.
I'm a little overwhelmed. But anyway, so if we think about her, she shares a lot of information. And one of the very first things one of the things that she shares is like quality, then quantity, which you referred to, right? So our macros do matter, but where the sources that they're coming from, we should focus on that first. And yet again, I don't want to attack. I don't know him. I don't know, whatever. I don't know. All I'm simply saying is like that was a direct attack on the narrative that comes directly from Greg. And what was Greg trying to speak to through that? Health, long-term health. And what is fitness is about long-term health. And so yet again, it's just like, are we even talking about the same thing right now? Yeah,
I agree. I do have a question for Claire, and you probably know more.
I believe.
What?
That's what I'm interpreting that he was speaking to.
So Broken Science and what's her face? The girl at the helm of it. She's been kind of on this kick of high carb and these pre-diabetic athletes. And do you know anything about it?
No.
All right.
Who are you referring to?
I don't know. The front woman for Broken Science, BSI.
Hey, Katie.
Oh.
Is it Katie? Is that her name? No, the blonde girl. Metfix. Oh, sorry. Metfix, not BSI. Sorry, Metfix.
Yeah, CrossFit, help us out.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard the struggle bus.
And so it's basically that these high carb Emily Kaplan. That's right. That
gross. Sorry.
Stop. All of these high carb athletes are all pre-diabetic, right? Like if they get blood work done and things like that. And which is such an interesting thing to.
Are they though? I'm sure a lot of them now these days get blood work, and I'd be really curious.
I just think like, they always cite research and stuff, but the number was astounding. It was really, really high. And I was like, these guys have 8-packs. Like, I just don't even understand. But I mean, I guess like just like they're becoming like like they're insulin sensitive, you know what I mean? Because they're consuming so many carbohydrates. I don't know. It was just an interesting thing. And I was like, or like this one right here, like becoming hyperinsulinic, like almost getting to that point because they're consuming so many carbs to fuel. But isn't the theory that if the carbohydrates are matching the output, then none of that should happen?
Man, I just wish that we had talked Tom McCoy on for this little clip right here. Because you remember whenever we were having a conversation with him and I alluded to not saying that they did have, but saying I was curious what this does long-term, the high consumption of
exactly
sugars and so on. And he was like, he just said something to the effect of the reminder that like, they're pretty well designed to be like really good at shuttling away this stuff, like their bodies are machines for burning it. Right. And so anyway, then it's like, but I think he did advocate for like, we should all regularly be checking under the hood, aka getting that blood work just to make sure. Man, I really do feel like at this point, I would assume at least half of the top athletes, wouldn't you think at least half of them are regularly getting their blood work done?
More than that for sure.
That's what I think it's, okay. So maybe all of our top athletes are getting theirs done. I would think so too, but I don't know. Maybe some of them just aren't to a place of carrying it. I don't know. I'd love to see if any of them would share any of that, because I'm
John,
like, I don't know.
I think they would. I know when I was at Brute, like they wanted me to get my blood work done and I was, surface level, like would be lucky to get to a semifinal type athlete. And they wanted me to get my blood work done. I'm sorry. So if that's like that level of athlete, they wanted their blood work. I imagine everybody above that, they want their blood work done. You know what I mean? So
PBG's in the comments.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So then that also, let's see, there was something about inflammation up here. And then that makes me think if blood sugar is high, it creates inflammation, which will decrease recovery. Let's see if he wants to talk to that. But that then makes me think of a post that Fee made. She just came off of one of the competitions where she was dealing with a ton of inflammation and so on. And so she actually went on a fast over it. And it was an interesting post. I appreciate that she shared that. Just the therapeutic benefits that she received from doing some fasting, which she didn't encourage others to go fasting without consulting with their medical professionals or anything like that. But anyway, it was a good post. Okay. Do we want to move on? Do we want to put that in a category of good, bad, baffling?
Probably baffling.
No, I don't think it deserves.
John says bad.
Give me
a boring 25 minutes.
Yeah, give me 3 minutes and then I'll have Dallin's blood work.
That'd be great. Yeah, I just am because I have a hard time believing that so many of them have that too, but I don't know. Okay. Do we want to move on or do we want to stay on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, great. The next one, do you want to go to, I sent you those 3 links, which I feel like the training think tank thing, CJ, is great for you.
Yeah.
So do you want to go there?
Sure.
Okay.
This is my, by the way,
Your cue.
This is my favorite Max. I love Max when he just talks training.
Oh, just nerdy Max.
Nerdy Max is,
I think Nerdy Max is the best Max too.
Nerdy Max.
We're in lockstep.
I'm not a fan of when Max gives like his opinion on the CrossFit like ecosystem and like what the I don't know, because I feel like they kind of come off as like a little elitist, like, oh, we should know the workouts. And I'm like, nah, stop. I'm like, just talk all the data that you guys have aggregated over the years and do your thing, because it's no one can compare. Like their ability to pull it together and the docs they have, I know behind the scenes are awesome. And I love when he does this because I love to
it's great, dude. When they have the this should be your goal to this is what we think a semifinals athlete would do. This
like you mean like in the first hour that the workouts released?
Yeah, and this is what we think 75% will be.
Yeah,
like I don't think anybody does that better than them, and they're the only people that I see that have that stuff when the workout gets released. And I don't need to watch them. I still watch them. Like they're very entertaining. Like I'm like, oh, okay, well then I'll pace it this way. Like even though I don't need to do that, I'm probably gonna come up with that anyway. I still watch it. You know what I mean? It's very entertaining. I agree.
All right. So here we go. What was your timestamp? Just make sure I have the right one. It was like 20 minutes. Oh, I watched this whole thing.
Oh yeah, the timestamp I gave was just the 20-minute mark. Oh, and I just had a question for you on that.
Thruster 207, they probably need to clean and jerk 225 plus to actually be able to have the strength to take that in a singular range of motion and push it up. And then
so that was already it. I may have gotten you right up into the moment.
Thresholds. You could also run that same data analysis for clean and jerk and snatch. I think the rep ranges are lower. You've only had to do 25 reps at 95 and 135. So the weight thresholds would be different there, but we have had an actual thruster tested as a 1 rep max, and that was 207 and 127. So if somebody has to thruster 207, they probably need to clean and jerk 225 plus to actually be able to have the strength to take that in a singular range of motion and push it up. And then
something specific there.
I was just curious, like, what are your thoughts on a comparison like that? Like taking those 2 movements and comparing them in that way?
It's really close. Usually the push press to the jerk is 80%. So that would be really, really high, assuming that clean and jerk is at your max jerk near. That would be a really, really high push press, right? Push press and thruster are pretty synonymous, maybe give or take 5% at the most. So that would be, I think that would be really, really high, right? Like, I mean, if you thrustered 90% of your clean and jerk, that'd be pretty wild, in my opinion.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But I think though, since the average is 207, 127, that percentage is much higher, the less efficient of a lifter you are.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But, and that's, and at that, if 207 is the 75% range or the 25%, that person probably is generally stronger than they are efficient. So their push press is probably very near their jerk in general. Yes. 100%.
That's why I think that percentage
Probably, yeah.
It's probably sound, but I don't like. Is your question just what do we think of that comparison? I wouldn't use that as a comparison.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like jerk to
yeah,
clean and jerk to thruster.
I just use the rule of 80s for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know CJ has like exact percentages. I think WODprep, they actually have like a report card that's like the exact percentage that things need to be, or like that they've had through.
Yeah. So it's all based on it's all based off of
algorithm.
No, it's the guy in the 90s, strength coach, did all like the strength ratio testing. Oh my gosh. Why you have the 80s, the guy who started the 80s.
This is your moment, John.
I know.
I mean, I don't not to
forget.
Okay, while you're thinking of that, I just use the 80% rule for everything. And if you're not at the 80% rule, then you're inefficient one way or the other, or you're too strong or not strong enough. And you could take that 2% either way. So 78 to 82%.
Louis Simmons.
Your front squat should be 80% of your back squat. Your clean and jerk should be 80% of your front squat. And then your snatch should be 80% of your clean and jerk. Or your clean, not clean jerk. Your clean should be 80% of your front squat. Your snatch should be 80% of your clean. And then a jerk is just efficiency. How much do you want to work your jerk? It can be 100%, 105% of your clean. But that's literally just how much practice do you want to put into it.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, so that's what y'all's numbers are based off of.
They're all very similar to John's, and just based.
They're very close to yeah. When we did
there are, and you know, we just go, and they've changed. Like every year, we'll look. You know, like there was a back squat this year, and so being the back squat as the test, everything is based off the back squat, right? That's a Poliquin thing. That's what was done in the 80s, and everything is based off of that. And so, and then it changes. Like we go through it every year, and like, all right, what does this yield to? And we look at, you know, we're fortunate enough to have some semifinal athletes like in our designs, and so we just like, you know, we'll either pull them or whatever, and so they're kind of a fluid number in general.
And in general, your thruster for people who lift efficiently is usually equal to your snatch, and like it's like really really close to your snatch, your max snatch.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Like your 1 rep max, I found this to be like almost pinpoint within 10 pounds for every single person that is who would be considered an elite lifter or elite athlete.
Gotcha. Okay, so you guys both watched this video today, or John earlier, but CJ today. Okay. What I felt like there was a lot of good takeaways. There was a lot of information, but generally there were some really good takeaways.
Yeah, I think this comes in, and we talk about this a lot, right? Like the open, there's 3 people, and he nails this. We say this exact same thing in WODprep, and not to take anything away from Max, but there's people where, and this is any competition or any level of the season, right? Even at the games level, right? So like in the open or quarterfinals, there are people where they are just there for fun, or they kind of limp their way in. There are people where it really, really matters and they have to peak for it. And there are people where they don't have to peak and they're looking beyond. Right. And so it doesn't really happen in the games because that's the most, but even if you think of like WFP finals, it's like, okay, some people went into the finals peaked because it was very important to them, and others clearly they didn't, and they still did well. And it doesn't really matter if fitness is where it is. So you always have to decide that when you're getting ready for a competition is so for the season, because there's levels to the season. So if I'm a quarterfinals athlete, I'm in the 90% range. I want to be top 2000. That's what it is this year to get in. Assuming we're not at the 2000 mark is probably like the 88th percentile right now, maybe even a little bit lower, 86th percentile. We'll just go back to 2019 and 2020 when top 2000 would have been like for sure top 10%, like top 9%. So if I know that, and I know my goal is to make it to semifinals, so we'll go with Nelson, and Nelson's going to make his way in through quarterfinals pretty easy, but he wants to peak at semifinals. We still need to do well at quarterfinals, so we'll still have a little bit of a build to that point, but it won't be our main focus. Our main focus will be beyond that.
Sure.
Right. It'll be on there. Same with Gucci, right? Or all of my masters athletes. Okay. Now, along with that being said, this year's a little bit different because the way that the invites are going out. So some people that know that they can make a semifinal, they still might need to be maybe more peaked than they are comfortable with at quarterfinals because of the way the invites are going out. So that's something to be considered. He didn't talk about that here. It's something to keep in the back of your mind. If you're like, hey, you're a masters athlete, you go to the games most of the time, but maybe, you know, you're kind of like in the bottom 10 or 5 in your qualifying age group, but you want to go to an in-person semifinal. Well, they're all going to invite the top 20. So you can't have an off weekend, right? You still have to be peaking for quarterfinals because that's where all the invites for semifinals are going to come from. Right. So there's all those kind of things that you have to sort of keep in mind and put into play. But Max does a great job here. I love it. I love the number data. Someone did this recently. John, the bald guy, he did not you, John. His name is John.
John Woolley.
No. He just sits at the mic and talks. He's got the blue mic and he just talks. I feel like him and Taylor have gone at it for something.
John
or whatever.
Wood,
Anyway,
but he's not bald.
No.
Singleton.
Yeah, right. I think that's him. Right.
European coach.
No, that's not him. Anyways, someone did this and they did a whole. They put
Weber?
every Paul. It's Paul Weber.
Well, you got it. What did you start?
I know,
John. His name like Kevin John.
Paul John. It's 4 letters. Super common. White as shit. It's there. It is what it is. It's the same name. Same name. So, it was. Anyways, he put this together in like really good detail, like a PDF to send out to coaches. It was really nice. I always love the data of the total volume of stuff like this right here. This is really fun. So anyways, I love it. Max does a great job of this stuff. I love when they put this out.
Yeah, I do too. And it also just, I mean, I thought that, you know, not doing elaborate periodization. I mean, we have like 7 weeks until we get to the open. And then I think for most listeners, even though, yes, there are those.
Did anyone did I just talk through a $200 donation?
Yes, you did. But you were on, I plan to come back.
It just dawned on me that this is the CBG guy. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is that guy.
Yes. Do you want to go ahead and pull that up?
Yeah, of course.
I would like to say this is a copy and paste comment of a response that he had to somebody else.
All right. Well, we have to be nice with someone who donates.
I'm just saying it was a copy and paste comment. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Did we get your dad's earlier? Your dad said first. He said cover is blown. I'm assuming it's in regards to this, or no? It's in regards to his account. Okay, now go back to CBG.
Yeah, you know, and so just for one, thank you. I will make sure the money gets to Ben after YouTube takes 50% of it and Apple takes the other 30%. I think like $30 will get in. I do appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, I think we're in a space where, you know, I hope you didn't take any of our criticisms or anything in the sense of like, you know, there's some things you say that I don't agree with. And obviously you run a very successful business and a lot of people feel happy with you. And, you know, I know the things that you guys do. I know you and Ben are close. And so, you know, I don't think you're a charlatan or anything like that. I just, you know, I think it's marketing and I think, you know, we are, we don't have to see eye to eye on everything. You know, but it is what it is. Right. You know, I hope this doesn't come out as like an attack on you or anything in that case. That wasn't really the goal of it. It was just to more talk about, you know, some of the things that you said and some of the things that we believe and go from there. I
don't think he's taking it as attack. He's getting attacked by a lot of different people right now, and that was not even close to it. I don't think you're a charlatan either, by the way. I don't. I just don't know anything about you.
I just know that I like what Greg has to say about nutrition. I think it's really effective for the vast majority of individuals seeking health. So, and that was, I mean, the whole premise of the video was to like say that didn't make sense anymore. And I just don't agree. So maybe it doesn't make sense for some high level athletes. But for the vast majority of people showing up to a gym, to a 1 hour class, whatever, like those are really good guiding principles, I believe.
And maybe there just needs to be a harder differentiation.
What, for performance versus health?
Yeah, with the marketing that he's putting out, be like, this is the point.
And that was the point. Nuance.
Yeah,
he's not. I mean, he's not dumb. He knows what he's doing, right? Like Justin is smart. He's doing it for a reason, right? It's to get more people interested. And
Yeah, the algorithm loves it.
yeah, exactly. Right. And we do this, and whether someone reached out to him and he came on here, he's never watched this show.
And hey, if people are in better health, we are thrilled, right? I just am gonna stand by what Greg said.
Yeah.
About nutrition.
All right. Back to
this. I think he needs to do this for quarterfinals and semifinals too.
Yeah, he will. I assume I feel like they will. Now the prep, as they kind of got out to the training layout, it sort of like fell off. Like you put a lot of the time into the beginning part, and then it didn't really lead into, I think,
I didn't listen to any of that part.
A lot of this, right? It was more of just how to peak, right? And timing and things like that. And so, it's, I think the big takeaway here is you have to know where you're going to finish and what your goals are. If your goal is just to make quarterfinals, and if you are a top 10% athlete, then you probably don't have to worry too much about the open. You can train through it. You don't have to peak for it. You don't really have to worry too much about a training layout.
And you don't have to peak for it, but you should. I mean, at the top level, is there not still, I believe that some of the prize purse is tied to the open registrations and all of that, right? I mean, like Dallin just shared, isn't that the case for this year? Do we know?
Start over. I'm sorry. I was
just as far as training through, while that is the case, there was, I think that just like, the athletes still want to perform well at these open workouts because there are incentives to do really well.
There are incentives.
Definitely for the announcements. 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, still training through if you're at that level. Yes. But then also, like, I think that there is maybe more pressure on these there's a lot of pressure on these workouts for them.
Well, I feel like it's like this is their only workout of the day. Like it's the open workout. Yeah. Like that's the type of precedent. Like they're still working on Thursday. They're still working on Saturday, on Friday. This is the workout of the day, and that's it.
Yeah. And so they're not like tapering for this. Now, I think after week 1, because there is money on the line now, i.e. Colton, right? Like he might be making some adjustments. Like if you can podium in the open, there is an amount of money on the line that I think some people will be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take an extra breath before I make this attempt. You know what I mean? Or an extra half session off or something like that. I didn't realize Dallin made that much money through the open.
Yeah, I think what do you make, like 3K or something, a little over?
No, it was more. It was like
if you win, you get 3K if you win an event, and then if you win the overall open or second and third, you get money too.
Right, and so because he got second in the open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. He got decent. It was like 15 to 20 grand. Like it was a good chunk of money.
Substantial. Yeah, so there's some real incentive to train through, but also like get after it. Just fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good.
Cool. Yeah, and I think building off of this, I can't help but plug. And whoa, that was great. I'm so glad I did that. Anyway, I cannot help but mention that we are posting.
If you wouldn't have said anything or stopped, it would have been fine.
No, but it was just intense. There was emphasis on the words, and then I don't know, just stood out. So here we are. Let's move along. I wanted to mention that since we are almost 8 weeks away from the open beginning, one of the things he talks about in here is prioritizing, the things that that you're going to struggle with. And so a lot of different skills that you see come up a lot in the open that you may struggle with. And then obviously your nutrition side of things. And so I just, okay, stop.
I'm sorry.
We get it.
I don't understand what's happening.
Great.
What is happening, CJ?
Claire said butt plug.
Butt plug?
How'd that? 2 separate words, but I said them loudly next to them
loudly,
another.
And you didn't have like a good
I can't help
enunciation.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So
can you repeat the sentence so I can hear it?
Are we done with this? Is what I want to know. Clearly we're not. We'll give CJ a minute. So WODprep Academy.
I'm laughing because I got a text message about it 4 seconds after you said it.
Love that for us. All right. So glad I did that. So WODprep Academy does have skill courses on basically every skill in CrossFit, and they are 8 weeks in length. And so not only that, but they're running a challenge right now we are running a new because we haven't mentioned that, by the way. I mean, I posted on my social media, but I do now work for WODprep. And so, woo, if we
congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about it. But I mean, it's literally perfect timing. It's 8
I
weeks
wish I could
until
say
we
the
get
same, but
to
it's okay.
the open.
You started
Yeah.
your own programming company.
Yeah, you went off and did your own thing. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Oh, is that like, am I not allowed to do that?
I mean, if you want to work for a programming company, you probably shouldn't have your own programming company.
I didn't even think about it.
He just goes and shuts it down.
Dude, I'm just trying to get by, man. I don't mean nothing personal on nobody.
Dude, I would never even in a million years take it personal. You got to do your thing.
No, not at all. But anyway, so there's that, is that there is a nutrition focused challenge going on right now within WODprep Academy. And then you get access to all those skill courses, seminars, coaching, blah, blah, blah. It's a crazy deal. And so I don't know how I couldn't plug that with knowing that we're 8 weeks out from the open starting, because people do need to dial in their nutrition and do need to focus on those skills. And the fact that those skill courses are just like 2 to 3 days a week, 20 minutes on top of their already participation in classes, whatever, like it's a cool thing. So there's that.
If you guys can't do a muscle up, it's #1 priority. Now, with that said, odds are, because the last 2 times we saw bar last year.
I think we're getting rings this year.
So
I really do. I really do.
Yes. So we went 3 years without a muscle up, and then Boz had the open, and we had ring 2023. And then in 2024, we went back to a bar muscle up, right?
Back
on
to
a
the
repeat
bar.
On a repeat workout.
Yep.
Right. And then we had bar muscle up again last year on a repeat workout. And so whenever they always flip. They always flip.
Which means bar muscle ups are in quarterfinals. So if you quarterfinal athletes or semifinal, or wanting to break into semifinal athletes, now might be the time to get like to 30 bar muscle ups in a row type deal. Blake built up a lot of volume.
So we saw
maybe not 195 in 2 hours, but anyway.
It was ring.
I know, but still.
90
bar would have been
minutes.
safe. Bar would have been safe. You'd have been fine.
Next week.
Oh my God. Anyways, your irresponsibility.
I just like that it makes you upset.
So I think ring is probably going to show this year. If you're going to work on a muscle up, if you're like, I don't know what to do, bar or ring this year, I think you should focus on ring. But with that being said, chest to bar takes priority in volume. Always.
And hey, you gave me a cue for my chest to bar that I implemented in a workout last week, and it was genuinely helpful. So I appreciate that. Yep.
What was it? Probably high toes. It's usually the thing I give.
Yeah, it was to just keep them in front of the bar longer.
Yeah. Dude, Grant is obsessed with this 100 burpee box jump overs for time. He's texting about it for like a week now, man.
Oh, because this is a workout that you can do.
Well, I can do it.
Wait, you can't?
I can.
Yeah, that's probably why, right?
No, he just because he keeps he posted a poll on like what the times would be.
He's just upset he's not as fast as he thinks he is.
Yeah, and so but the problem is my problem with it is everyone assumes that people are way more fucking fit than they are, and they don't realize that from under 9 minutes to the best time in the world, so low fives, is still like only 3 or 4% of the CrossFit population.
Yeah,
like 90th percentile, top 10% is sub 10 minutes.
Oh, you really think so?
100%. And I only know this because I coach masters athletes and I coach a lot of people, and I give this test. This is part of my standardized assessment test, is 100 burpee box jump overs for time. I've given it to hundreds of athletes over the years. And anyone who comes in that can get it under 10 is well above their top 10% in their respective whatever.
That's interesting.
That's a very small amount of people.
Because there are cardio workouts that I'm like 88th percentile, 87th percentile, and it just is what it is. But I've done a 10-minute burpee box jump over EMOM for 20 minutes, or 10 burpee box jump over EMOM for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yet I'm like, there are workouts where I'm still.
But you're not 10th percentile. You're not.
There are workouts where I'm not though, and like I'm just 87th percentile.
Those are probably it doesn't matter. You're good at grinding in a burpee as a monostructural pattern.
Yeah.
not a mixed pattern,
and not
like
a dumbbell snatch.
Dumbbell snatch and burpee, right?
I'm not good at those.
Yeah, well,
So as soon as you make it a couplet, you have a problem.
Your strength is
Hinging.
your strength is finding an like I think your biking background and just being able to be in it. The problem is it's not that people are bad at 100 burpees. It's the people don't have the mental capacity to do 100 reps of fucking anything without being upset and annoyed. It's like giving someone a 60-minute row test and they're like, this is dumb. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're just a pussy. And so the 100 burpee box jump overs is the same thing. People just get people do not handle big chunks like that in a pattern that you should turn cyclical. Like
that's fair. I think you're right. I think I'm way better at a monotonous type deal than I am when you mix it up.
Correct.
That's fair, which is sad because that's what CrossFit is. But
so
it's okay. You can get better. That's what we do. That's why we're here.
It's like even like gymnastics, so I'm like that too. Like I can.
Well,
like
there's
the muscle up thing. Like I can go forever with just.
There's a muscle, but the muscle up still has a skill and a fatigue, like a muscular fatigue component and a strength component, right? Like the burpee itself, if you're in, also people are very, very inefficient at burpees. They just don't realize they are, right? Like you
Grant's
can turn
pretty
on,
efficient.
huh?
Grant's pretty efficient.
He is very efficient. I would say more at the bar facing burpee. He has like a weird like backwards step pattern that he does. He sends me burpee videos all the time. I have a very weird knowledge of Grant's burpees.
He's got an obsession thing.
He does. He loves burpees and farmer's carries. It's the workout that he won in Hiller like 5 times or whatever that keeps getting posted. Anywho, I think top 10 under 10 minutes is top 10% for sure.
Okay. Do you think it matters to have a one modality thing then to even test for the open, or like that would make you 90th percentile, or do you think it's a stupid measurement because it's going to be mixed up anyway?
Do I think monostructural testing is good in the open? Is that your question?
No. Like it is a good measurement to test your fitness with, or like for the open, like, oh, this is good enough for 90th percentile. Does it matter? Because it's always going to be paired up with something else, and that's a different stimulus than a monotonous test.
Okay, so is your 100 burpee box jump overs for time a good test to how well you're going to do in the open? Is that the question?
Yeah, or just anything like that. If I said
something monostructural,
60 power snatches for time with 95, like anything, just a single modality.
I think yes, because all of those, while the burpee in and of itself, because while it's not mixed per se, 60 power snatches is very much mixed. It is a power expressive pattern that you are doing 60 reps of at a light load. So you are taking, even though it's a single movement, it's a power pattern that you're trying to turn into endurance. So it is kind of mixing the energy system in and of itself in the demands of that pattern traditionally. Do I think a 300-pound snatch rolls into being good at 20.1? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But being really good at 60 power snatches, it's at 95 pounds, very much so. That person's probably going to do, if that person has 30 and 30 and is under, I don't know, what would a really good time be? Like under 4 minutes or something like that, maybe under 3 minutes. Yeah, that person's probably going to excel at that workout specifically.
I just think
as long as they don't have a weird, and obviously there's outliers, as long as they don't have a weird burpee or whatever the other pattern is, like complete inefficiency of it. Like when you can be really good somewhere, then you can use, like, if you can turn one of the movements in a triplet into a recovery point, but it's still good enough to move with the rest of people, then you get a break, i.e. Colton in squatting, right? Like that's the gist, right? Like he's so much better that he doesn't even need to push the field there. He just needs to be good. And it's like a rest for him, which is why he can excel everywhere else in those kind of mixed situations.
So do you think, and I'm sorry, I'm like being selfish about this conversation.
No, it's good. No, do
you think I'm just a unique case then, that when you mix it up, it's just harder on my lungs, like to an nth degree? Because a workout like 24.1 with the 21, 21, 21, 21, 15, 15, 15, 15, 9, 9, 9, 9, like a workout like that, my lungs, they just explode so fast. But then we do if we just did 100 dumbbell snatches, I will go unbroken. If we did 100 burpees, I will go unbroken, and it'll be a pretty great time. Like
no, I don't think that example is super great, and I'll tell you why. The thruster is your examples of the dumbbell snatch in the burpee. You have times of rest in the pattern. There are points of the rest. You can turn a dumbbell snatch aerobic and cyclical if you're good at it. It's really, really hard to turn a thruster cyclical because you're either resting with load overhead, which is still not a rest pattern, but you can be in a lockout or a terminal extension, right? So you're like hanging on the Y ligaments, like you can actually have a little bit of muscle, but you're still loaded axially. Or the other resting component is the bar on your shoulders, which for you is
where are you going with thruster?
Where
are you going with thruster?
You said 24.1. Oh, sorry. So dumbbell snatch burpee. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying if I take each of those movements and I just did 100 of them, I would beat a lot of people, or I could go unbroken on it, or just not stop. But whenever you mix them, I explode.
I'd have to see. I mean, it's okay. So the thruster burpee specifically is probably a lot of
dumbbell snatches.
Sorry. Dumbbell snatch burpee specifically is elevation change, right? That's what people don't realize is that both of those patterns are moving up and down. So your blood pressure, right, and heart rate are very, very, very challenging there. Also, if you go into that workout, if you went into it with the same mindset of your 100 for burpees and snatches, I bet you do better than trying to race it from the get-go.
Oh, dude, I did. I mean, I feel like I go at it at that mindset.
Yeah.
I think CrossFit's right. I think I just need to fast for
12 week cut. Yeah. Tristan says global endurance is an interesting concept.
I think Tristan hates zone 2 and doesn't think it relates super well into CrossFit. And I think that's what he's referring to as like just someone who's very, very aerobic and enduring in general. As far as mixed, I think if we put a heart rate monitor on you and then did 100 dumbbell snatches for time and then did the first, what would that 18, 21, like to 21, right? Like of that workout, you know what I mean? And, I bet there would be a huge difference in general, but I don't know. I'd have to see it. I have to look at some data. I'd have to watch you move about it and see where the fall off is. It could be a time thing too, right? You do both of those in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think there's a time thing too. So me and Grant were having this. He's like, I think, did he say Invictus does a 5 minute?
Go ahead.
Does a 5 minute burpee box jump over for time. And I don't think the 5 minutes a good enough time frame for burpee testing because it's still a sprint, right? Like you're doing 100 in under 5 minutes, right? The bar facing. And even so I think the 100 is better. It could just be a time thing, right? Like that could be your time domain is under 7 minutes and then everything over that it falls off.
I'm just destined to be a low rent gi. That sucks, man. That's the worst. I'm so sucky. It's gay. Go ahead, Claire.
Well, so CBG said, or not, sorry, he's mentioned 2 below. Anyway, Tristan says, good guess, but nah, global endurance in my eyes is just the tax of a large person moving a large distance over and over and over again. Some people, it just crushes for no apparent reason. That then makes me want you to pull up the video that I sent you around the 5:15 mark. Sorry, pull more stuff up. But it was more, that is referencing body types for CrossFit, which I feel like that
of this
Amanda's.
Oh, Amanda's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got a Khalipa body, and that body's not as good as it used to be.
It's not a bad comparison.
I think 2009, my body be rocking, but now we got all the freaking James and Hopper and Dallin bodies, and that body's not as good as anymore.
Yeah, I think it's right around the 5:15 mark.
Really difficult to beat. I have been impressed by James Sprague all 2024.
Yeah,
podiuming basically everywhere he showed up and doing it throughout the season. Like so many athletes need a little bit of a break, and that is understandable. But somehow James Sprague just seems to have the right approach where he's having fun, but is still wanting to win and is able to compete at a high level throughout the entire year. And I find it very impressive. And I think that attitude, that mentality, something that to some degree can't be taught, but has to be within you, is something that makes a huge difference for Sprague. Because I don't necessarily think James Sprague is the most athletically gifted. I just don't think he is like the perfect proportions for CrossFit and the perfect muscle density and all that sort of stuff.
Which is very not the same as athleticism, by the way.
Yep.
Athleticism has nothing to do with, I think, any type of actual physical, like visual genetics, right? Of like size and height. Like most of the most athletic people I know are kind of chubby because like they were really athletic in high school and early college, and then they just kind of let themselves go, and they can still, you know, throw a football 65 yards. Like, I mean, just like, you know, it's an interesting one.
Tyler from Dude Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that guy's decently athletic. Now, he's not Saquon Barkley, but he looks like nothing. He's the most athletic guy out of all those guys.
Yeah,
by
sure.
far.
By far.
I think athleticism is your ability to adapt to new stimuli.
Yeah. I also think there's like the agility and the directional change, hand-eye coordination, those kind of things to learn new skills, like which I guess wouldn't be new stimuli. So I think those have a role. And of the whatever the four guys that she's probably comparing them to, I think James is the only one that can do a backflip.
Look at Jeff Adler. Jeff Adler looks like an action figure. He looks like Turbo Man, and he's the least athletic out of all of them.
Who?
Jeff Adler.
Oh, yeah. Well, so yeah, the question, and yet again, I want to like also reference this is not coming.
Turbo Man before. It's my favorite.
That's what he looks like, dude. He's like
Sorry, Claire.
His body's crazy. Go ahead, Claire.
You're fine. This isn't coming for anything that she said as much as it made me think like, is there really any body type, density, proportions that we find to be like, I mean, there's a pretty broad range, especially on the men's. Well, no,
now there is. Until 2023, there wasn't.
Are you referencing athleticism or are you CrossFit?
No, body type.
No, I'm not. Body type for CrossFit. Like, I was just like, I don't know if there's an actual perfect one, the right one. I truly, obviously, it's, you know, having like a lot of lean.
I have a theory with this.
Okay, go for it. This was the point.
So I think the perfect body is still Rich Froning. And I think, and I will get to this, okay? And I'll explain why.
Me too, our Lord and Savior.
No, nothing like that. But
oh god,
when a shorter person than that average height, average weight, 5'9", 5'10", 200 pounds, 195, 200 pounds, when a shorter person can overcome their power deficiency and do machine numbers like the bigger guys can, they become almost untouchable, a la Matt Fraser. When a taller person overcomes their anatomy and they can do thrusters and move well and do 20 ring muscle ups unbroken and recover the way James recovers, then all the stuff that they get from being a tall guy is a superpower and they become untouchable, right? I don't think the sport was developed enough when Rich was in it for there to be those outliers that were actually good. Like there could be guys that made the games, but not guys. They still had holes and weaknesses, right? Now, like if you take freaking James or Jason or Dallin, like their holes, what they're weak at, they would destroy people in 2014.
Sure.
What they're bad at. Right? And in 2014, the good things that those guys were bad at, like the tall guys, like your Asia Bartow, like they couldn't do 20 handstand push-ups, strict handstand push-ups, because they weren't overcoming it like that. And then like the short guys, thinking like a Zeke Grove or Chris Spieler was never going to put out output on the bike ever to match average size guy or strength numbers. He would always get hurt, but the sport wasn't developed enough that specialists could make it, right? And now the sport is developed enough where there are big guys that have overcome those holes. There are small guys that have overcome those holes. So I still think the best body just to be good at CrossFit is 5'9" for men, is 5'9", 5'10", 195, 200. But the sport is developed now enough that you can overcome you're deficient. Like anybody could still win the games. Just
Mhm.
to be good, I still think that's the best height. You just have to overcome things if you're shorter or taller.
Right.
And then when you do, you have a superpower that nobody else has. And that's what we see with Colton Mertens, why people can't touch him, right?
Yeah.
In some workouts.
Sure.
And then the big guys, people can't touch them in some workouts too.
Right.
Yeah.
But just to be good, I think that's still the best height weight. Not
Okay.
necessarily to win or the fittest or whatever, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a general body type that you like, but you wouldn't say that there is a perfect, or like there's the right one, because we have seen such a broad range do well and overcome those things. I just am like, I don't think I could pick a specific body as much as just like, yeah, I mean,
you still have to overcome those things, but
on either
it's
side.
more. I guess it's been done. So now there's a path, and you can see it. And then when you have overcome it, you have a superpower now, right? So yeah, and then women, I still think the best height is 5'7".
You think it's that tall? Good.
I do. I think 5'7".
I'm 5'7", guys.
I think
only getting better.
I think 5'7", 150, 155 is the best weight and height for women. But quite frankly, I don't think the Tia is kind of skewed it just because she's better than everybody.
Right.
But like Katrin, I just think Katrin was built to be really good at CrossFit. I think that body is built because you're tall enough, you still can put out output in the machines. It's not, you don't have to do so much to overcome power output on machines. And then you're big enough, you still can lift weights, but you're not big enough that you can still be a little bendy gymnast and run well. Your body's longer. I just think that's the tallest you can be and still do all the gymnastics without getting hurt. Does that make sense? By the little girls.
Yeah, I think there's I think CrossFit's here. I think the women's field from a body type is still developing more so than the men. In general, I think that's just because the level of competition has been much higher on the men's side for probably like much longer, right? Just the level of athlete I think has generally been, they've been like blocked in a lot closer, and it's been sort of self-selecting earlier than the women's has. I do think there is like it's narrowing, right? I think 5'7" is probably the highest. I don't know if 5'8" or 5'9" is like there for like to be the best from handstand push-ups or muscle up volume or something to that effect. And then I also think like the under 5'3", you know, their machine limitations and their running limitations, very similar to Colton, right? Or kind of, it seems generally insurmountable in times, right? Relative to other athletes, but it does seem like it's a little more broad, right? We don't really know.
100%. And for people who like give a reference of today's women, like Danielle Brandon's 5'7". Yeah. I think Danielle Brandon
5'6",
and Laura Horvath, I'm pretty sure is 5'6 and a half, 5'7". Like that's, I just think that is the best. You get taller than that, and then your movement starts slowing. And I think I just think that's the biggest you can be and still move really well. I'm pretty sure Emma Lawson's 5'6". Yeah. And then the smaller you are, it's just harder to get. It's harder. You can obviously do it because all of them do it, but the smaller you are, the harder it is to be strong / power output / fast runner, blah, 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 blah.
Emma Lawson is listed at 5'4".
Oh, well, I think she's 5'6", and that's a lie.
I don't think she's 5'4". It doesn't seem like she's 5'4".
She appears every bit the same size as Lucy Campbell whenever they were next to each other.
Yeah, that's her.
And like if she's next to Tia, like she looks bigger than Tia. Like Tia's 5'4".
Yeah, and she does look taller. You're right. She looks taller than Tia. Huh? Maybe
She's
that's just
tall, 5'4".
incorrect. Huh?
Tall 5'4".
That's a wrestling, an anti-wrestling 5'4".
WFE has her listed at 5'5".
She's 5'6". I'm sorry, all of y'all are wrong.
Let's see.
That must be Canadian measurement.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if you guys thought there was, because I just, as I listened to that, and I was like, I don't know that I actually feel like at this point, because there is such a broad range.
Well,
on,
I think
on both sides of things.
I think
and
the
really,
last 2 years, the guys like the crew, right? The Boys Interrupted those three have really started to like interfere with it. Prior to that, it was it. That was it, right? Like it was the 5'10", 200 pounds. Like that, it was it.
Like
Until
Vellner was big, and he's 5'11".
right, and he never overcame. He never overcame it. You know, with whatever the reasons were. Right. You know, whether he messed up or whatever it was, he never stood on top. And you have to just look at standing on top. I think Tia and Matt are outliers due to pure ability. But I think outside of them, you can, I think it probably narrows down a little bit more for sure, at least on the men. I do think the 5'10", 200 pounds is like where it is.
And when you say pure ability, I think like you're referencing a combination of, yes, their physical gifts, like they really are gifted there, but then also like their mental gifts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not trying to say with like genetically, you know, like it was only because of, it was everything. I mean, you know, I think it's becoming more and more clear. Like Tia's been pretty behind the closed doors and of all of her, the way that she does. But I think she's coming out more, and it's like she just never does. She just literally can't not win. And it just like completely consumes her at all times to not win.
Yep.
And I don't think it never seemed that obvious before. But now with Proven and media and things like that, I think it's pretty obvious. And then everyone always knew Matt's instabilities and fucking whatever addiction things that like he just all channeled into training and what it was.
But like you take Matt, I think Matt was the best 5'6" rower in the world.
Yeah, probably.
And I think Matt was the best
for distance for sure. For any type of like anything over. You think biker?
Biker, yeah, like an echo bike, not like a cyclist.
Okay, got it. I was like, that doesn't make sense, but yes, for sure. You know, and I know you probably know this, but how he got so good at the bike?
The 20 cal every 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was just arms. Him and Henshaw did a copious parts of the year only arms bike training in depth, like in lots and lots and lots of volume.
That's interesting. I'm a pretty good arm biker.
You're probably a pretty decent echo biker.
I don't think I'm using my arms in the echo bike though. It's not what I feel.
I feel both. Unrelated to that, sorry, but Tier did you guys see the home video for Tia Claire Toomey? It's titled Home. Tier just put it out. It was almost 2 weeks ago now. Anyway, as far as the mindset side of things and she talks a lot about her childhood and things like that. It's a really nicely done 50-minute film.
I know I haven't, but that sounds like something I would watch.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. It's a collaboration between her channel and Tier Sport. I think Tier's who did it. But anyway, that's really, really good.
Back when she did nippers in Australia. She was part of the nipper team. It was a big deal back when you were like 12.
Yes, any of that would have been in there. Sorry, I didn't mean to take away from your.
No, it's good.
Basically, like triathletes, like that they're making at 12 in Australia, just for fun.
She's something else. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay,
that's the thing down there. It's like it's a big thing to be a part of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, like it's an Australia thing, but like if you make it, it's like, oh, you're a nipper. Like it's a big deal. Like for like kids, it's a big deal to make.
Yeah.
I believe you.
She did an old video talking about it. Like there was a home video that she taled about being.
Are you on a team for Australia? What like how does it work?
I don't know. You just try to do it. You do it. If you hit the times, you get it.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, this is.
You looking it up?
No, I mean that's an accurate statement. Like it's like the lifeguard games. But you gotta like swim at a certain speed and like it's hard to do. So like immediately she's a great swimmer because of that. But and then she ran 400 meters for time when she was in high school. Shane timed her and that was her and her bond and all this stuff. And then she genetically was going to be really, really, really strong.
Which is wild. Great. I mean, it's very similar. It's interesting because of somebody who was genetically going to be strong, never touched a weight till late puberty or after puberty. Same thing with Matt on the opposite end.
Running.
Matt was genetically tested, and obviously everyone knows this, but was basically genetically designed to be a soccer player. Like that's like, oh, this is what you should have been, and he didn't do.
Or a marathon runner. Like he had like 95% slow twitch muscle.
And what Matt had. None of his training was in there, and I was like, oh man, what an interesting thing is like you set yourself up for failure basically your entire life until
you become the best the world history has ever seen. Yeah. And which is why he was like, that's why he was, because he spent 20 years
focusing on his weakness,
what he was going to be bad at. So like if the first 20 years of my life, if I ran with the Kenyans and then decided to touch weights, that's what Matt did. But like the other way around. Well, that's what Tia did. Like, that's what Tia did. And then like 20 years, like, you work your weakness for 3 years and you're better at it, but you're still not great at it. It's like, guys, some people are so great. If you worked it for 20 years, that's what they did.
Nothing else.
That's why they're better than it at everything. And like 5 days a week, this is all you live for. Is this?
I think the notion of like, you don't know, because they don't know it's a weakness, or they don't know they're designed to do another thing at that point either. I think that probably has a huge driver in it too. Right.
But either way, we can take those two examples and then apply those in your own life, whatever it, like say John wants to get aerobic, right? Which, I mean, it sounds like you're actually not struggling that much there anyway. But I mean, the application of the mind, right? Of like, they're just, I mean, I don't know. It definitely makes me think
at 51, I might be pretty good at running.
I mean, the runway for fitness these days, as the masters athletes have proven,
that's fair.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
but that's why those two are have this like fitness gap on everybody else, though.
Yeah,
is because of that.
I think so too.
And I've always thought that, like, Matt's best snatch is 315, and his whole entire life he tried to be good at this thing. I clown around with snatch for 4 years, and I'm snatching 315 just for clowning around, right? Like you would think you'd be better at it if that's what you lived and died for, right? And I think he was genetically supposed to not be good at this person. At that thing.
100%. I agree. I agree here. And this is without a doubt, I still am, the word athleticism in fitness, they just like, I always get like very.
Yeah. Watch Matt in 2015 and tell me he's athletic.
Yeah. But he could do a backflip. I mean, he could do a standing back, like a standing.
Yeah, he could do it then though. And watch him run, watch him sprint.
And so, but he learned, and he learned really well, right?
He did learn.
And so dude, I've worked on running with a lot of people for a lot of years. And there are some people that they're just going to run like Annie forever. There's going to be a gazelle, right? That kind of like bounces.
Tromp. Yeah.
Some people just aren't athletic, but
I'm not willing to put them in that box. I don't believe that they're stuck there. Sorry.
Who is they?
Anyone saying that they're like forced to forever be. I mean, I said like I don't know.
There are levels.
There's levels.
To put it in
there's levels to it.
I think athleticism is like you can look at someone and know if they're athletic or if they're just fit, right? Like Annie's the greatest example. Like
Sarah's a great example.
And like
Sigmund's daughter.
Like Annie was one of the fittest people to ever be in our sport. There's no question. But like athleticism, I just would never consider her to have
Annie Spiegel's athletic.
Yes.
Do you believe that training CrossFit increases your athleticism?
I think we have our 10 general skills of fitness. And if you really broaden them out to balance, coordination, agility, accuracy, yes. But how we train it for the sport, no.
John?
I mean, I don't disagree with CJ's statement. I think sports make you athletic. I think if you do sports as a kid, like then that's your highway to athleticism.
And by the way, the Merriam-Webster definition of athleticism is the athletic ability combination of qualities such as speed, strength, and agility that are characteristics of an athlete, which we certainly train all of those. As CrossFitters, maybe you're saying that we don't necessarily prioritize the third one as much.
Do we sprint and we do ladders, or are we sprinting in a workout doing thrusters? Because maybe
in comparison to some other sports, not as much, but there is sprinting.
Let's go run up a hill and we'll see who's faster, and you'll tell you who's athletic. I bet you CrossFitters don't rank very highly in it.
Well, I don't think that's I think directional change.
Or a 40-yard dash or a 3-cone drill. Let's run through the combine. Let's run through the combine. I think you'd be shocked at how unathletic a lot of CrossFitters are.
I agree with
I'm not
John.
saying I would be shocked. I just think that it maybe increases your.
But if we train it all the time, right?
So if you were training,
you would think you would just be good at it, right? Like I'm talking about our elite people, not just people that just our elite people. Let's run them through the combine, and like I'm nothing, right? Nothing. I bet you I'm in the top 5 of just a combined score.
Oh, I would love to see this.
Well, I already know I win the bench press. My 40's pretty great compared to these guys. Like, just because I know.
Hold on. Is your dad full of shit? Did he really say he has a 40-inch vert?
He did back in the day.
There's no, well, so just to be clear,
he had a 41-inch vert. Like, my dad's got a picture of his head touching the rim, and he's 6'2".
Just to be clear, anyone who has over a 30-inch vert is given. I don't care how hard you worked from a 26 to a 40. Gaining 40, that's like saying, you just that's like saying you put 100 pounds on your snatch in a year, right? It was given. Sorry, Larry, I'm not trying to take anything away from you. Anyone with a 40-inch vert is given. You could work hard to be there, but bro, if you're jumping 40 inches and your head is touching the rim, dude.
I don't know, man.
You weren't stuck in the mud and then all of a sudden jumped 40. You trained it a little bit and then you unlocked what was already there.
No, he jumped a lot, man. He did a lot of jumping.
But he's a powerful athlete.
Yeah.
Right?
He can't do that now, but I mean, yeah.
So
I think he's more powerful now than whenever he was doing that, because he weighed less than I did when he was doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say now he's just what?
Like he played college basketball. I don't know, dude. This is a great question. I just don't think athleticism is trained that much in CrossFit. I feel like I could take people to school that go to the games. I really do. Like Jason's athletic. Don't get me wrong. Jason would probably beat me at the combine in a total score. I'm not. But I just like Guy is very athletic.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think you'd be shocked. I think you would be shocked.
Didn't you reference yourself like as Timo Guy?
Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
So I do think that athleticism and fitness are different. Yeah, I mean, and that's not the
training. Fitness can make you more athletic, though.
I think it can when you're trying to do new stuff. I think when you're just doing thrusters and burpees and box jump overs and double unders, snatching can, yes, some skill components, yes. But I think at like the sport, if you're like the sport in and of itself in it is very much in a box, unfortunately, to be good at the sport, because we're stuck inside of a gym in a lane that's 25 feet long at the max, but probably in a 8x8 box. And so to be stuck in the 8x8 box, it's very hard to be very athletic, no matter what you're doing in said box. Right. And so it just, in my opinion, it doesn't like push athleticism from like directional change and hand-eye coordination and new skills and new sports, like picking up a pickleball paddle and being good at the sport immediately, right? Or being able to hit a tennis ball very well, or hit a baseball that's moving, or swing a bat for the first time in your life and it not look like Bennett when he tries to like catch a ball right now when it just hits him in the face because he can't do it because he's 3. You know what I mean? And so like those things are there, and I don't think CrossFit does it. Anything fitness bias will move a little bit of athleticism, but it's certainly not the best way. And I don't think we're going to create like world-class athleticism inside of a CrossFit gym.
Nor do I think we should.
Yeah. I don't think that's
no. I just was
sport is at the top of the pyramid, right? Yeah. Like for a reason.
Yeah. I was just curious if you think that it increases it, because I believe that it does. That's not to say that it's the most effective thing or there shouldn't be other whatever, but I do believe it does increase it.
I think Olympic lifting.
By the way,
a little bit.
Well, that's still CrossFit. Speaking of Bennett, for those that were not here on our last call, just in case you guys missed it, CJ announced that his beautiful wife Perrin is pregnant and they are having a baby boy this year. So anyway, just in
congratulations, CJ.
Just in case anyone missed that.
Super excited.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun. That was a fun show.
Good.
Yeah, I wish they did more things like that. Like I wish there was like at the CrossFit Games they test athleticism, and I wish there would be like a straight up combine that they run through.
Well, there might be.
just for that reason, or just have everybody race a 40-yard dash on lasers. Like, I think that'd be cool. You don't think that would be cool?
Oh yeah, I think I've said a combine would be,
or a vert test. You know,
the way you do it is you, all of those are scored as low score points.
20 points.
So like everything's 20 points. You do 6 tests or whatever, 7 tests. You do a 3-point drill. You do a 5-10-5.
Yeah.
Right. You know, even maybe a like, I don't know. The throw is interesting. I would like a catch personally more than a throw.
What about like that big D ball throw that they do? They do it for like a speed score. They have them do it at the combine. Like it's like a 30-pound wall ball, and then you lean, but you're on your knees. You're on your knees, and you have to throw it as far as you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good. You know, and so there's still some fitness, because that's for sure like power fitness. Like CrossFitters would just generally be okay with that, right? They wouldn't be terrible in general, like creating power from a static position. And yeah, I think it would be neat.
Claire, there's just so many examples of people who are very, very fit that have shown to be very unathletic. And I just think if CrossFit did train it, that we wouldn't have that.
I am only arguing that it brings their baseline up. So not like maybe they are unathletic by whatever parameters you want to put on it. But the idea that they were training for fitness and didn't become slightly more athletic than whatever they were before.
You think Khalifa threw a softball worse than what he did when he threw it before CrossFit? He threw it worse than that.
Listen, I don't have an answer to that. But also there's all sorts of different expressions of athleticism, right?
Absolutely. But I think athleticism is literally all of that stuff.
Well,
like there's a lot of examples of it though.
Well, so on that note, I think there are plenty of extremely athletic people on the planet that are not fit at all.
At all.
Of course.
At all.
James Townsend. No offense, James.
Yeah, but I mean, even on the spectrum, James is very fit. There are people like the Instagram.
Sure, he's who I think of. Like that's the most athletic dude that's tried CrossFit seriously.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. And
yes, Vicky. Just an increase in body awareness, whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, you know, I was in a fraternity and played with a lot of guys that played high school sports, and we played flag football pretty competitively. And man, dude, they couldn't run up and down the field worth a damn, but dude, you put a football in their hand and you give them like the hip shift to like get away from someone trying to pull their flags, you're like, what the fuck was that? You're just like, God, like this person is just like floating. And then, but they're going to get tracked down, right? Like they're just like, you know, by the time they're
intramural flag football in fraternities is like, it's amazing.
It's the best.
It is almost more fun than high school. I think it's more fun than high school, quite frankly.
Dude. So
I feel like it's more fun than high school. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Totally different. Like moving on, but the school we were at, we had a really good like our flag football teams were like they went to national champions. So like our intramural judges and the way that we did it was very serious. And so the fraternities sort of took on that portion of it. And so it was a very big deal for us. But I've been to schools where they were terrible and like it wasn't fun. They didn't follow any of the rules. It turned into basically like low.
Oh, it was serious. It was serious at Mizzou. Like we had scored like the lights were on. It's Saturday. It's Friday Night Lights type deal.
Dude, anyways. Oh, dude, this was hilarious. Side note, last inning. Bijan thanks.
Yes, I heard him say that.
Hilarious.
Poor guy. I felt so bad for him.
What is this that we're
I just feel bad that he has to walk it back, dude.
There was in football, it was called Smear the Queer, and it just was
that's the name of the game.
And so anyways, he said it on like national TV.
Oh no. And he's a really if that's the Bijan that was here recent, like training in Austin a couple years ago.
Yeah, because he went to Texas.
Oh, he's so nice.
Yep.
He's
a really nice guy.
He's great.
Yeah. I was working in a facility that he was training in at that time, and I like him.
Anywho, all right.
That's what you said. Okay. I will be at the Moultrie South Georgia Classic, which is in South Georgia this weekend. It is a competition, just a single day competition, local and affiliate. So anyway, that's going on this weekend. And
an in-affiliate competition, they brought you into MC.
Yeah. That happened a few times last year as well.
Nice.
Claire, I might hit you up at my gym.
Yeah, just let me know.
Not like it's gonna be a minute, but
the sooner you let me know, the better.
We would like. Well, I'm just there ain't nothing in the works right now, but I think it would be cool to make it as official.
Oh yeah, John, I'll be in Houston in like 2 weeks.
Let's do something, man.
Yeah.
Is that during TFX?
It's in 2 weeks, the 16th through the 19th.
Oh, let's do something.
Why are you going to be in Houston?
Perrin's dad lives in Southwest Houston.
Were you going to tell me or no?
I mean,
it's okay.
It's not anywhere near you.
It's not that far.
Claire, where do you live?
I live in Austin.
That's like 3 hours.
Okay, but that's not that far. That's a drive.
To come see somebody, I'm hard not traveler kind of a guy.
I would happily come drop in. I need to go drop in at your gym. I need to drop in at Jenny's gym.
You're more than welcome.
I've been to Greater Heights many times. I really like that gym.
We'll do a JY barbell fitness workout, and I will post you guys.
Perfect. Oh yeah, we'll get famous from
JY. Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You have way more subscribers than I do.
It was a joke.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you were smart, then you would have waited for an opportunity.
This is true.
Or made an opportunity with WODprep. But here you are running your own shit.
Well, I've already
just
lost.
kidding. Hey, I hope it's going really well.
Yeah, you're gonna crush it, no doubt.
Me too. I hope so too.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for coming on. Nice hour and a half show. We had 50 watchers like the entire night, which was great.
I know.
That was awesome. That was good.
We love you guys.
Thanks CBG for the big donation. And thanks for being a good sport and being in the chat. Thanks for everyone for being here, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.